Hi all, it's Kimberly and I have your new moon in Sagittarius forecast. I'm going to keep my voice rather low, so if you need to turn up your volume, go ahead and do that now. I have just strained myself from the move and overexertion, so I'm a little bit raspy. I apologize. Okay, so we're going to dig into a card spread. I'm going to talk about some overarching themes for this new moon, which is a really powerful new moon. It's the last new moon of 2018, and it's an important one. If you'd like my extended written forecast, you can sign up on the website and you can, subscribe, and then you'll start receiving my new moon, full moon, and monthly forecast. And that's theilluminguru.com. I'm sorry, I can't even speak. It's theilluminguru.com. Scroll to the bottom, enter your email, and you'll start receiving those, okay? For those of you who are wanting to work one-on-one, I've opened my schedule back up. I was blocked off for a little bit, so I'm open for coaching sessions, intuitive guidance sessions. Some of you know I do regression sessions. All of that's open for this week. So I have a 3 for 2 special right now. It's through the month of December. 3 coaching sessions for the price of 2, and that'll give you a chance to work with me and like more sequential sessions, it'll give you a little bit more longevity for the value. And then you can also, if you want a message beyond what you're receiving for this collective reading and you're really wanting to know, hey, what's going on with me personally, you can book an intuitive guidance session with me, and that's on theilluminguru.com, okay? All right, so this is a really cool new moon. It really, really important. So what we're seeing here is that this is all about the truth and seeking the truth and walking in line with our truth. And it feels like the step into our new life. So as many of you know, I have taken that step. I feel like many of you are taking that as we speak, or have just, or are going to be. It could be even just the aligning with it from within yourself. And for many, it will be the action steps. They're showing me, and I know I've said this a few times in past readings, but there's a high number, a high rate, and I would love to see the statistics next year, but there's just a very high rate of divorce filings right now. A lot of karmic relationships are ending, and you might be one of those people that are leaving a karmic partner or thinking about it or initiating that process. They're saying that those timelines are getting sped up. So if you are one of those people and it's getting sped up for you, don't be scared. The universe is helping to push you right along, okay? The advice that I have for you, if that's the case, if you're being pushed right along, is they're saying if it's not completely amicable or agreeable, they're saying do what you need to do behind the scenes to prepare. Be informed. This Sagittarian energy is all, Sagittarius is very, all about intellect and being well informed and knowing what's what. And so they're saying be well informed. We're coming out of Mercury retrograde now. We're going into Mercury direct on, I think, December 6th. And so we're going to come out of this phase of not wanting to sign contracts or take any big leaps or, make any big commitments. And this is a time where you can start doing that. I feel like some of you are going to be buttoning this up before the winter solstice, and others of you will be starting the process before winter solstice. So it's a really good time to push forward with anything regarding a legal divorce proceeding or a separation of any kind, okay? Secondly, this energy is truth-seeking overall. So anything that has been out of integrity that you may have been reluctant to release, you are releasing now. I feel like this is taking a step into the unknown. The theme of this new moon for me and what I'm channeling is about mystery. It's about not knowing what comes next. It's about taking the risk. It's about adventure. It's about and truth. Sagittarius, as you know, is a very truthful, blunt sign. There's no room for bullshit here, okay? And so I think in our dealings, in our communications with others, be careful how you speak, because I think there's going to be a need to be very forthright, but we also have to be careful that we're not being abrasive, right? So they're saying, make it clear and concise, succinct. Those are really big words right now. Clear, concise, succinct. We're going to have the ability to make communications this way once Mercury goes direct. And, but beware of anywhere where there could be a sharp tongue, whether from you or from others. Be aware of that. Be aware of like, you know, just blunt truth that may like sting or pinch you, and also delivering it, not just receiving it, but delivering it to others. They say like maybe like soften your approach just a little bit. There's a way that you can be forthright, but still be, you know, graceful about it. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay. So let's dig into the messages here. Again, shared energies. This is not for divine feminine, divine masculine. Sorry, it's a little bit, it's going to keep changing because the sun light behind me, the sun keeps going in and out, in and out. So the lighting on the video is going to keep switching. So yeah, so this is for shared energies. And we have for the shared energy is the High Priestess. Okay. High Priestess is coming up here in reverse. It's saying that this is the time that we're coming into our power. This is the power to make the decisions to move forward. And what's underneath the High Priestess is the Tower card. And this is really about that things needing to end in order to regenerate so that we can step into our power. Now, I feel like these things that have ended, are ending. Like we've seen the truth about, the writing's been on the wall since the last full moon. And they're saying like now it's time to step into your power. Crowning over this is the Awakening card. And so this is really about your expansion. This is about you. This is about you raising your consciousness to come into your power and align with what is, you know, good for you, what's for your highest good. Now, the information that they're showing me is, and this is a new moon right here, okay? So this is like where the light bulb goes on. Like there's no room, like I said, for bullshit. This is like our truth, the truth of our soul is coming forth. They're saying, and if you don't have it, you're going to go on a journey to find it. And that journey may be stepping into the unknown. That journey may be a mystery. That journey may be taking a risk. That journey may be, it's going to pull you. Like me, it just pulled me somewhere geographically. It pulled me out of my comfort zone. It pulled me, and it feels so good now that I'm here. But there's always that risk, right? There's always that, but they're saying turn that thirst for the truth into curiosity. Turn it into a willingness to step onto that path, to make the change, to seek it out, to find your truth. Many of you already know what the truth is from your higher calling, higher self. You've known it for a long time. Maybe you've been in denial. And I do feel like at this new moon, we're coming out of that so that we can take action towards what we want to be doing really for the rest of our lives. This priestess energy is not like, oh, let's step into my power momentarily and then I'll come out of it and then maybe I'll harness that power. No, this is really about like stepping into your true gifts. It's about finding your truth and your power. This feels like the temporary is going away. The things that weren't meant to last are dissolving. It could be they're exploding or imploding or being destructed, or maybe they're just softly, going away or dissolving. But whatever the case, whether it's a huge unearthing or more subtle, they're not meant to be there. Okay. Those things that are being released, needing to be released, or that you're leaving, they were temporary. they're not for the long haul. What we're receiving, however, is for the long haul. But you've got to clear the space. So what we've been dealing with is loss, okay? We've been dealing with this releasing, the purging, right? And it could be this loss of our, our own self-identity, where we've lost ourselves in others, where we're like, oh, well, who am I on my own? Who am I just as myself, just as me? Like, and that feeling maybe of like the rug being pulled out from underneath you for some of you. For others of you, it might be just whatever you're needing to let go of, whether that's karmic partner or situation. There's been quite a bit of a loss and a needing to purge, release, grieve, and then move on, because they're saying that above this loss, just like above like the tower, because in the tower, when we unearth, where it's all gonna kind of blow up so that we can build anew, right? And so that we can expand beyond our confines. And this feels very confined. Whatever this is felt confining. It felt very restrictive. It felt very, these could be the toxic people, relationships, anyone that was controlling, anything that controlled you, anything that stifled your energy or left you with low energy. It could be the confines of a job or anything like that. I really see the shifting. I actually see that this shifted over the past weekend for many. In jobs too, like, gosh, there's going to be, if you're in the corporate world, like you may be reshuffled into a new position, and know that it is a better one for you. It's going to free you up. It's going to give you more energy to do more of what you love on the side. I feel like you're letting go of things that have confined you, like too much pressure, too much responsibility, not enough freedom. This energy of this new moon is very much about, being free and to explore, and that's being set up for you. So those job positions or those physical jobs are being rearranged, reshuffled, or let go of now. So that feels very much in line. But above the loss, like I said, is the universe. And crowning over the universe is expansion as the clarifier. So this is what is, it's the same message as the tower. The unearthing is giving way to us coming into our power, our awakening, and our power. This loss, whatever we're losing or leaving behind, or the old sense of self, the self that was codependent or stuck in these cycles, this is giving way now to a much more expansive perspective and life. It's the perspective that gets you on the footing. So once you have the perspective and you want to expand, and you feel it because you hear it calling to you, you feel it, you see it, right? That's what's going to help you create a more expansive life. And that's what the Sagittarius energy is all about. It wants us to be more expansive. That means breaking out of your comfort zone. That means going the distance. That means being curious. That means investigating. If we don't know something or we're curious, it means going to find out, going to investigate, asking the questions, finding our truth, and not stopping at anything until we find it. It's not a real willful energy, but there's a lot of fire and passion in that. And the thing that I think is so important is that all you have to do is create the expansion and know that it's calling to you. You don't need to know how that works out. And I feel like if anything, the roadblocks that we're going to hit around this time for some of you are going to be around taking that leap into the unknown, or taking that step into the unknown, or, getting around our own self-imposed limitations around breaking out of the comfort zone, or not knowing what's up ahead. Okay. So they're showing me that there has been discontentment, and that is about to end. Okay. Because what it feels like is, this is you coming into your gifts now. This is like breaking free of the things that have limited you and that have kept you sort of stuck, locked in, and you confined, it feels like. And this is really about, like I said, expansion, but it's also you harnessing your gifts, artistic, creative, spiritual, and that's why the muses are coming in. And above that is the Three of Crystals. Okay, so we have it in reverse. I'm going to show it to you upright. And this is that fear around showing ourselves to others, like really stepping into those gifts. But the reward is so much more fulfilling, because if we don't, we'll still be discontent. Okay, so it's like if you don't step into it, if you can't show or share, then you will kind of stay in this discontent place. And they're saying that right now, the present is crowning over this. And I feel like right now we're taking the risk to say, hey, this is what I want. Hey, this is who I want to be. Hey, let me redefine myself. There's Sagittarius loves to redefine itself. It's like a reinvention, new looks, new furniture arrangements, that's the Sagittarian energy to a T. So this could be really, it feels like about not just coming out of the closet for some of you, but coming out in a new way. This is about taking advantage of this present energy so that you can step into the future, which is at the bottom of this deck, which is interesting that we got the present and the future. You could step into the new year in a new way, on a new foot. And for some of you, it's going to feel like a huge departure from where you've been, like really coming out of your shell, like really you guys are soaring. That's how I see, okay? It's really, you're getting ready to soar and to just fly high, and trust in that. Know that anytime, any place, any space, any way that you are going all the way into your gifts, you cannot go wrong. There's no misstep there. Even if it is exploration, experimentation, practice, that's all good. You're supposed to be practicing. You're supposed to be doing that, because come spring, there'll be emergence, which means that you'll have acquired the skills, the tools, the experience, the know-how, whatever it is, to really, reach a new level, especially with, mission and your gifts and so on and so forth. Let's see. The bottom of the Ask Your Guides deck is Unconditional Love. And this is the Divine Mother. And I feel like this is really about you guys needing to love yourselves. The decisions that we've been making, some of us are receiving support in some directions, but you may receive, you may not be supported in all directions. So it's really important that you support yourself from within, that you go inside your heart, that you self-care, that you listen to yourself, and that you're really just kind and soft with yourself at this time. Transitions are hard enough and stressful enough, but if you're not taking that time to center in with yourself and love yourself unconditionally, you won't be able to be unconditional for others, okay? And someone just, posted or commented on my video about my journey, and, that notion of unconditional love came up in it. And the thing about that is unconditional love spawns of self-love. So if we're not fully in love with ourselves and fully self-loving, we cannot offer unconditional love to ourselves or to anyone else. So remember that it starts with you. And for many of you, if you're needing to move forward along your journey and you're maybe feeling bad for someone, you're leaving behind, or could be feeling bad, like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm changing positions at work. I feel bad that I had to, unload this responsibility onto the boss, or, they're saying, like, release those obligations that you feel, put yourself as paramount. Does this make me feel better? Yes, I'm going to move towards it. I'm putting myself first, what makes me feel good. And I guarantee you that when you do that, not in a selfish or vain way, but in a loving, self-loving way, self-focusing way, it will play out for the highest good of all involved. And you can even pray for that and ask for that. Please, as I make these decisions, as I take my steps forward on my path, anywhere where you're holding on to attachment, fear, or anything for those around you, obligation, guilt, anything like that, just ask, just surrender it over and just ask, like, please, you know, allow this to bring the highest outcome for all involved. And I trust that the decisions I make are going to bring about the highest outcome for all involved. And just keep saying that to yourself, because it works. I tell you, it really does. You just need to believe it from within, and it will work beautifully. Okay. Let's pull a few more messages from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I was very guided towards these today. Some of the messages kept just kind of popping in my head from this deck. Also, we have at the bottom of the tarot deck is the Eight of Cups. Okay, sorry, I'm going to show you that. And this is about, again, our expansion. This is fulfillment. This is, oh my God, the world is at your feet. Just have to step into it. Just have to now have the confidence and the courage to just walk right into it. The world is at your feet, and very good things are up ahead for you. For many, this is like, I kept saying that winter solstice, we are in the new life. And it's this energy, this new moon energy is carrying us right into it. And I just got goosebumps from head to toe. So, yeah, so let's see what the Wisdom of the Oracle has to say to us. We'll pull 3 cards from here just to get additional messages. Okay, so we have Treasure Island, Round and Round, and Time for a Nap. Okay, so I feel like these are, this often happens when I pull cards. I feel like this is the sequence. Time for a Nap, Round and Round are sort of together. So it's like, this is where you've had too much human thinking, too much of the old story or old tapes playing, and you're needing to take a break from that. Now, this might be, I've been sensing that as we step into the new life, we're needing to assimilate. Like once you get in there, once you get that foot in the door, right? It's like you're going to need to take a little bit of a rest to let it all catch up. And to integrate and to assimilate. But the other message that I've been receiving pretty clearly for the collective is that we've done a lot of spiritual expansion and up-leveling, and our mental, emotional, and physical bodies need to catch up to that, okay? And that's part of like releasing this thinking, resting your physical body, resting your mental, your mental mind, your logical thinking and all of that, resting all of that, allowing it to just catch up to the up-leveling that we've been doing at a spiritual level. That's important, okay? So this little time of recalibration is going to be really important too. So you may do that once you take the step into the new life. You may need to do that as you're making the steps into the new life or into the new phase that you're walking into. But just know that these past few months have been major up-leveling, major. And like I said, our mental, physical, and emotional bodies need to catch up. So if you're feeling exhausted, rest. If you're not feeling, you're probably going to feel energized through this energy, through this Sagittarian energy. But they're saying, like, no matter what, your body has been, your spiritual body has been working overtime. So your physical body does need to kind of assimilate, needs to catch up. Okay. And then they're saying that up ahead for us is the Treasure Island, which is everything that we've really been wanting. These are desires that are being fulfilled from childhood for some of you. These are desires that are new desires in your adult life that are coming through right now, that are glimmering to you. It's possible, they're saying, but we've got to rest and we've got to get rid of that human, thinking, limiting thinking, old tapes, all of that. Give it a rest, because that's what's going to open up, give us the key to unlock this treasure once we arrive there. This feels like an unfolding also over the next 9 months. And so that would be, we're December, so that's going to be like through August, through the second eclipses, We're going to see a lot of this new life open, blossom, all these great things unfold. As I've been saying, like, a lot of you are going to be, you know, united with divine life partners, your twin flames, and you're going to be forging new missions. You're going to be highly successful. This is all feels like it's happening between, like you're doing it, you're focusing, you're stepping into it now, between now and the spring. I can't even thank you guys. I'm sorry. Between now and spring, and then once we get into late March, between March and May, and for some of you, March and August, there's just a huge unfolding. Like all the goods coming to rush in and meet you. Everything that you've been putting out into the universe is just going to rise up and meet you. Partners of the same consciousness, love, new work opportunities, dreams fulfilled, lots of great things. But what we do right now in this period is so important. This is about getting in your truth. This is not a time to be walking out of integrity with that. That will just slow down your timelines. Those of you, most everyone is ready for this. It's just a matter of you've got to consciously line up with it. So you've got to stop resisting. And how do we resist? A lot of times it is through the stories that we tell ourselves, the limited thinking, the holding on to, you know, what's sort of restricting us or what's no longer working, staying in the discontentment, you know, because look at what's above that. We've got the universe, the Three of Crystals, the High Priestess, the expansion, awakening. It's just, this is what we're moving towards. I'm going to sneeze, so I'm going to pause the video for a second. Okay, sorry, I had to sneeze. It just came over me. So this is it. This is our fulfillment is coming. We're moving towards it, okay? And it's coming to meet us. You've got to step towards it in order for it to meet you, for the universe to rise up and meet you. You've got to go to your higher self's calling, to that higher path. You've got to take the first steps on it. And right now, they're showing me many of you are, which is incredibly exciting. Those of you who are kind of still afraid, though, take heed to all of these messages that just came through. And I'll have some more clarification channeled messages in the extended forecast that I send out via email. I'll see you guys all soon. Happy new moon. Happy December. Enjoy this last month of 2018. I feel like we're going to be celebrating our accomplishments. You should feel very proud of yourself for how far you've come. And you should be celebrating as we go into 2019. I love you all. Mwah. Bye.